Spotlight is the true story of the Boston Globe Spotlight Department and their 2001 expose on the Catholic Church and how they would cover up some of their priests molesting children. And it's Michael Keaton, Mark Ruffalo, Rachel McAdams, and Brian Darcy James and their process of making this expose. In my opinion, it has been a while since we've had a great journalism movie, and journalism lends itself to be such a compelling genre. But now we have Spotlight, which is such a perfectly crafted movie. And that's the number one thing that I admire about Spotlight. It's the craftsmanship of this film. Director Tom McCarthy perfectly captures the authenticity of this process of making an expose. It would have been so easy to glamorize or simplify this process, but he shows that it's fucking work. It's hard work. I never knew how hard it was to be a journalist until now. This movie opened up my eyes to this world of journalism. It's meeting with people, confirming sources, finding a paper trail, reading directories, and making spreadsheets. The process just felt so real, and I loved being a part of this journey to bring this story to the people. And this is a movie that doesn't focus on the characters, it focuses on getting the story, and it works for this movie. Getting the story is front and center for Spotlight, and the characters are merely the pieces needed to do so. The characters are not fully fleshed out, but they're fleshed out enough to where you can gravitate to them. And the reason I gravitated to these people, even though they're not fully fleshed out, is because they're so efficient and good at their job. And even with these monumental obstacles in their way and the Catholic Church on their ass, they still get the job done, and that's what I love about these characters. Now let's move on to the performances now, because there's a lot of star power in this movie. You got Michael Keaton, Rachel McAdams, Mark Ruffalo, Stanley Tucci with hair, Liev Schreiber, and John Slattery, but they all realize that this is an ensemble piece and they need to act as a whole rather than individually. Every actor understands their role in this ensemble, and their performances complement the performances of others. If Michael Keaton and Mark Ruffalo both got nominated for Best Supporting Actor at the Oscars this year, I would totally understand it because they both nailed it. And major props to Liev Schreiber, because I can only imagine that the director went up to him and said, "Liev, we need you to play the most mundane, boring man on the face of the planet. Can you do that?" And he went, "Don't worry, I got you." I'm not saying that as a bad thing. That's how the character is supposed to be. Schreiber did such a great job being so mundane and boring. But the real standout in acting is the actors who play the survivors of the molestation. Just another great example of the authenticity of this movie and these actors bringing such raw emotion to the screen. The scenes with the survivors are really tough to get through. They pack a very heavy emotional punch, and it has to do with the performances of the survivors. Now when it comes to flaws, there are not a lot, but this is a very absorbing movie where you have to take in a lot of information. There's a lot of people and events that are mentioned in this movie, which should definitely be the case, but there were times for me where I couldn't keep up with who was who or what was what. You have to really focus on the information they're saying or you might get lost. So in the end, Spotlight is not the most entertaining movie in the world, but it is so compelling to watch. The performances are spectacular and worked perfectly as an ensemble, and the director nails these subtle nuances to the film, like capturing the city of Boston, the set design, the costume design. Tom McCarthy's sheer dedication to authenticity is remarkable, and this is journalism movies at its finest. I would be very surprised if Spotlight is not on my top 10 for the end of the year. What did you guys think of Spotlight? Make sure to comment below, hit that subscribe button, hit me up on Twitter at my website, BrendanHasAblog.wordpress.com. Thank you so much for watching. Till next time, I'm Brendan Weissman. Peace!